to me, guarantee we'll have it all.
Everything down to a king's piece. And that's one reason she didn't put on a mean face. And you can tell her mama she had a clean slate. I distinguish your life for drama, just lean on me, okay? I came there to steal some honor, at least in the black race. You pause like 3 commas and put on your tag face. You give that badge no honor, I put on my disgust face. Now I see why your ass is on corners and put us on court case. All I have one last word for your honor, you should abhor hate. We all come from poor states, you wanna put us on a poor place. Prison is slavery, modern day. I guess that's why blacks are the leaders of the poorest place. They trying to kill us like mosquitoes, but they the vampires today. The devil rapid fire is hate. Is it best if we hide away? They pray we die while we meditate. The world is mine because the meek shall inherit this place. It's apparent we were born this way. Join when the chorus sings. Yeah.
We're kings and queens, so we're free, not dumb. As long as there's breath in me, guarantee we'll have it all.
Yeah.
Peace to the gods. I got the Empress Yahsinni in the building with me.
Peace
What's going
and
on,
love.
guys? So y'all already know what that means. Let me put the banner for those who like to read. I know they say black people don't like to read, but I'm gonna make y'all readers. So I'm gonna make them out of some. I'm gonna make them people liars.
Okay.
You know, it's that time, as always, and you can always find my sister herself and me. I'm sure some videos with me on there, you know. But yeah, you can definitely find her at YahsinniUniversity.com. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But what's been going on, sister? How that jewelry doing? Hey,
It's
as I can see, it looking
climbing.
good.
It's climbing. I'm working on it 24/7, damn near, and bringing the customers in, mostly from my subscriber list and people like you who sent people to me. But yeah, I think it's doing well for its first year. And, you know, I'm hanging in there. I'm driven. How are you?
Yeah, you know I love my stuff. Oh shucks, I should have. Now hold on, you got me. Why you didn't tell? Why you didn't remind me beforehand? I definitely supposed to go live so they can see this. Next time they're gonna see something beautiful though. I got some beautiful things. You know, I got a sister named Yahsinni. She always blessing. You know,
All
and,
right.
and I suggest y'all become some loyal customers like me, and just be surprised at what she do. You know, for real. But this ain't no advertisement. You know, we ain't here to play. Oh, I got the goddess in the building.
All right. Peace
I
and
got
love, Sade.
when I tell you I got the gods in the building.
Music
Uh,
land.
hey, and
Oh, yeah.
recognize real. So you already know.
That's enough right there.
Yeah. That's
Those are
one of our
main,
favorite brothers.
those are main characters right there.
I'm glad to see that brother on Mr. Beat. It might have been 2-3 months for since I went live, and the brother
Right.
picked right back up like it was the last time.
Absolutely.
And that's how it goes.
Yeah. I'm glad to see him in the house with
That's
Calico
for
and
sure.
Yahsinni.
Yes.
Yeah, I already
If
know.
y'all watching on Facebook, y'all come on over here on YouTube, hit that like button. Help that algorithm so it can show it to new people, and we get some new subscribers in the house.
Right.
Even the haters. For some reason, haters come in droves. So
Right.
bring a couple hundred haters. You feel me? For every
So they can
100
be
haters,
converted.
hey, as long as I can get about 10 real people out of every 100 haters,
Right.
But no, it's serious though. We touching on the black codes, and I feel it's sad that my people don't really understand. Like when I bring up something like the black codes, which this is the main reason that word, the word black is weaponized. Before we ever called ourselves black, they had the Christian black codes in existence before we were ever colonized. But now we
Exactly.
under the colonization of the people who created the Christian black codes, and we're gonna call ourselves black. Yeah, we finna get some of this. Finna get some of this work.
Let's get it.
Yeah, just a little dose. Let me see. I'll blow it up for y'all. Is it getting bigger?
Yes.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm on this other screen. I can't even quite see. Oh yeah, it's all looking crazy. Hold on. I'm gonna break it down. I don't know why I would make it. I guess I gotta leave it like that. That's the best way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, this coming out of Britannica.com. Hopefully, when y'all were young, y'all heard of your Britannicas. Since people don't like Wikipedia scholarship, how about we do a little Britannica scholarship?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And we talking about the black codes and black code, all freed men. I'm gonna let my sister go ahead and join in, because if you can see it, I'm gonna let you join in.
I
Can
definitely can see it. I can. And
Okay,
I would
go
love
ahead.
to join in.
Go ahead.
So in Black Code, all freedmen, free Negroes, and mulattoes in this state over the age of 18 years found on the second Monday in January 1866 or thereafter with no lawful employment or business or found unlawfully assembling themselves together either in the day or nighttime, and all white persons so assembling with them. I guess I can't do magic. But yeah, hit the read more or scroll up. All white persons so assembling. Yeah, you already know. And yeah, okay, so yeah, so all other, well, wait a minute. All white persons so assembling with freedmen, freed Negroes, or mulattoes are usually associating with freedmen, freed Negroes, or mulattoes on terms of equality, or living in adultery or fornication with a freed woman, freed Negro, or mulatto shall be deemed vagrants. And on conviction thereof shall be fined in the sum of not exceeding, in the case of a freedman, freed Negro, or mulatto, $150, and the white man, $200, and imprisoned at the discretion of the court. The freed Negro not exceeding 10 days, and the white man not exceeding 6 months. Damn, they going hard on a white boy. But anyway, you scroll up, I'll read section 5. So be it further enacted that all fines and forfeitures collected under the provisions of this act shall be paid into the county treasurer for general county purposes. And in the case any freedman, freed Negro, or mulatto shall fail for 5 days after the imposition of any fine or forfeiture upon him or her for violation of any of the provisions in this act to pay the same. that it shall be and is hereby made the duty of the sheriff of the proper county to hire out the freedman, free Negro, or mulatto to any person who will, for the shortest period of service, pay said fine or forfeiture and all costs. So apprentice laws provided for the hiring out of orphans and other young dependents to whites who often turned out to be their former owners. Some states limited the type of property African Americans could own, and in other states, Black people were excluded from certain businesses or from the skilled trades. So former slaves were forbidden to carry firearms or to testify in court, except in the cases concerning other Blacks. So legal marriage between African Americans was provided for, but interracial marriage was prohibited. Hmm. So it was Northern reaction to the Black codes as well as the bloody anti-Black riots in Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana in 1866. And you can see the New Orleans riots for that. So that helped produce the Radical Reconstruction, which is 1865 to 1877, and the 14th and 15th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. So the Freedmen's Bureau was created in 1865 to help the former slaves. Reconstruction did away with the Black codes, but after Reconstruction ended in 1877, many of their provisions were reenacted in the Jim Crow laws, which were not finally done away with until passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Yeah, I believe that's the end of that part. But
See, they're trying to give out a little hope. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, it's ended. You
right,
know, there's no more black code. Yeah, which is a damn lie
mm-hmm.
because they still enacting. Like they still attacking based off the same principles. The same laws really still apply. You know, and when you
Yeah,
fit this description, you can be treated as such. You can be treated like a vagrant. That's what they're telling you. You know.
yeah,
Hold on, we got some more. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Civil rights cases, background laws, not the black code, which, though not enslaving the freedmen, severely restricted their freedoms and put them at the mercies of whites. So, I wonder why this sounds like it's not from 200 years ago, but it sounds like it's from 2 minutes ago. Like they just updated this 2 minutes ago. You
yeah,
know, let me
yeah.
see.
Any laws like that they say that they're getting rid of, they really just modifying them and hiding them or coding them, but they're not going away, not for us.
Exactly. And like it says, background, the Civil War and the 13th Amendment brought an end to slavery in the U.S., right? But they did not give the former bondsman either legal or political equality. So you were still a slave legally and politically, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah,
just didn't get the boot put in your behind at all times. But anything's possible in America, you know. Hey,
yeah,
can you pick that up for me, sister?
yeah. So, um, in fact, the Southern states. Well, let me start over. The Civil War and the 13th Amendment brought an end to slavery in the United States, but they did not give the formal bondsmen either legal or political equality. In fact, the Southern states almost immediately passed a series of laws known as Black Codes, which though not enslaving the freedman, severely restricting their freedoms and put them at the mercy of whites. So opposition to freedom for African Americans often took extra legal forms as well, notably brutal attacks on former slaves by the Ku Klux Klan or the KKK. So during the period known as the Reconstruction, Congress tried to protect African Americans through a series of civil rights and enforcement statutes and through two more amendments to the U.S. Constitution. So the 14th Amendment defined a citizen of the United States as any person born in the country or who had immigrated and been naturalized. It's also prohibited the states from denying to any citizen the due process of law or the equal protection of the laws, or from abridging the privileges and immunities attached to citizenship. So the 15th Amendment declared that the right to vote could not be denied because of race. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it gets sticky, of course. You know, since they like to say the 14th Amendment made you a citizen, yeah, a second class citizen, and like they said, a naturalized citizen, because they took away your nationality. You know, instead of you being a nationalized American or citizen, you are a naturalized. And I'm gonna have to probably pull that up as soon as my sister's done with this next paragraph. I'm gonna show y'all, you know, naturalized citizen versus a nationalized citizen, since people don't know.
Right. So during the time when Union troops occupied the former Confederate states, the Army protected African Americans and enforced these rights, while resentment grew among white Southerners. Yeah. So by the 1870s, the North had tired of the conflict with the South over race relations and civil rights. So racism, moreover, continued to afflict American society in general, including its justice system. It's just us system. So the Supreme Court ruling, and the last of the great Reconstruction statutes, the Civil Rights Act of 1875, the Republican majority in Congress tried to secure by law some semblance of racial equality that could be protected by the government and by the courts. While no one expected that such legislation would change the prevailing racial attitudes held by both Northern and Southern whites, the law aimed to protect African Americans from deprivation of the minimal rights of citizenship.
What rights did they say that they
Minimal.
dang, they could at least say the medium, you know.
Well, at least they told the truth about that part. And I don't even think, I'm sure they didn't do that. I'm sure they didn't try to protect no minimal rights or nothing. What they do is just cover up shit or not report shit the way it was, falsify documents, testimonies, and everything, and try to act like they're protecting African Americans. But I don't think they're ever going to do that. Truly, minimal rights. Yeah. So a critical provision of the Civil Rights Act prohibited racial discrimination in public places that would later be called public accommodations, which rested on Section 5, the enforcement clause of the 14th Amendment. So 5 cases testing the application of this section rose in both the North and the South, and the Supreme Court combined them for a single hearing in March of 1883. So the government argued on behalf of the Civil Rights Act, declaring that the 13th Amendment had not only abolished slavery, but conferred all the rights of free citizens on the former slaves, and that the 14th Amendment had given Congress the power to protect those rights through appropriate legislation. So the court disagreed, and in the opinion of the 8-1 ruling, Justice Joseph P. Bradley denied both of the government's contentions. In effect, the ruling robbed the amendments of much of their meaning. Bradley argued that because not every example of discrimination against African Americans can be interpreted as a renewal of slavery, the 13th Amendment could not be invoked as a ban on racial prejudice. Yeah. So, although the Fourth Amendment had, in fact, been drafted specifically
Oh,
to
hold
ensure.
on. Basically, I just wanted them to understand. I hope they understand that what we just read, just said basically that the 13th Amendment ain't shit. Well, the 13th Amendment, so-called, made us these second class citizens and all this, made us naturalized citizens, but it could not be invoked. I mean, you can't even say shit to stop racial prejudice. The 13th Amendment could not be invoked as a ban. I mean, you can't say Jack Diddley on racial prejudice just because you're a 13th Amendment. Yeah, you don't sit in the back. Man, go in the back. When you signed up to be here, you said you would go to the back of the bus. Now you're arguing with me. I ought to slap the taste out your mouth. Like, man, leave them alone. Get away from these. Hey, like the movie say, get out. I'm gonna let you pick back up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, although the 14th Amendment had, in fact, been drafted specifically to ensure African Americans' rights, Bradley denied that Congress had any affirmative powers under the amendment. Congress could legislate in the remedial manner to correct an unconstitutional law. It could intervene only if a state enacted a law that restricted the rights of African Americans. Bradley also held that if a state failed to take action, but by inaction tolerated discrimination, such an exclusion from hotels, restaurants, and clubs, Congress could not legislate. So, by this decision, the court, in one stroke, nullified all congressional power to protect African Americans under the 14th Amendment and left their fate to the states. It also invited the southern states not only to tolerate, but to encourage private discrimination. The ruling would remain in force until the court disavowed it in upholding the 1964 Civil Rights Act, nearly a century after the Civil War ended. So Justice John Marshall Harlan entered the long descent into the civil rights case.
So it sounds like it's going to take another 100 years to take one more step, huh?
Absolutely.
Like, what did you want 100 years ago? I'll think about it this time. Yeah. You'd be like, guys, dang, I got a whole new list I want. No. Be careful what you wish for. I'm gonna go back to what you wanted 100 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And imagine all of that planning and plotting just to play semantics as if we're not going to notice that nothing's changed. Like, we're not supposed to notice that, okay, yeah, here's this new law saying that we're going to treat you fairly and equally by the law, by the Constitution, and then you don't ever do it. You don't ever do it. Okay, you just keep writing shit saying that you're doing it, and here's the law. And ain't none of that shit ever came to fruition. None of it. Till today. So it looks like they do need to write some more civil rights laws and enforce them this time. Like, what's the big deal? We're free, aren't we? So Justice John Marshall Harlan entered the lone dissent in the civil rights cases, pointing out that the court had eviscerated the 14th Amendment of its meaning. He also noted the bias in the court's judgment, since before the war, the court had accorded Congress comparable powers in upholding the various fugitive slave acts. So Harlan utilized the idea of, quote, affected with a public interest, end quote, which the court had expressed in the Munn versus Illinois, 1876, and argued that facilities such as railroads, hotels, restaurants, and theaters performed a public function, a notion that had been long recognized in the common law and that served as the basis for regulating those services. So if such businesses discriminated, then they did so with the consent of the state. You can scroll up a little bit.
Yeah, watch this. Hold on. I'm finna jump to something else real quick and come back to that. I want you to read this to the.
Am I ready to go?
Yes, ma'am. Because this is concerning that sacred, what they say, 14th Amendment. They keep trying to allude to in some great light. Oh, this saved you all. Watch what we did for you. You know. Hold on.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you can read it.
Okay, so the joint resolution proposing said amendment was not submitted to or adopted by a constitutional Congress. The proposed 14th Amendment was rejected by more than 1/4 of all the states then in the Union, and it was never ratified by the 3/4 of all the states in the Union. Yeah, that's Article 5.1. Yeah. It, I wonder about this constitutional thing, you know, and why it has to be interpreted so when it
Mm-hmm.
clearly can just
Islam,
state,
Islam.
what, yeah, exactly. It can clearly just state what it is, so there doesn't have to be so much interpretation and your own thoughts interjecting. And I mean, all this shit is crazy. All this shit is crazy, and games, planned semantics, and it's really all like a dangling carrot to us. Yeah, you're dangling the carrot, and then we fall for the shit. Then you move the carrot over here, and we rush over there, try to get the carrot, and it moves somewhere else. And like this is the part that I don't. This is why I don't believe that this shit is still going on after all of this time. They've never owned up to anything that they wrote, any of their documents, any of their fucking treaties or anything, laws, statutes, whatever. They built a whole system with codes, black codes, and other codes after that, against us. Like, why? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing that we have to be mentally cuffed now? Physically before, mentally now. And it seems like it's never gonna end. So I'm sure they're gonna write some more amendments, some more fucking of the Constitution, some more fucking articles, and still we're gonna be crying out for the same thing. We're gonna be saying the same thing. We're never gonna truly feel free while they playing these games. And games, but to them, um, it's life-threatening that these games be played. To us, it's life-threatening that you stop it with all of these games. One day. No time soon, but one day. So,
Yeah, man.
peace and love, Music Land. So, yeah, so I tried to find a list of the black codes. And they'll run you around on that. They won't just put the list, but they'll put like this state said this state said that. When really they can compile all of those black codes because they wrote them down. They have the law for each and every last one of those codes. So give them to us, Google, without playing games. I probably have something in my library of research, but maybe I'll pull it out later or some other time. But this shit is going on long enough. So the Sacred Grove said we only use the organic Constitution for the United States of America before the Knights of Jesus Christos or Christ Jesuits changed everything.
Exactly. And that might have been the last video we did. Was that a Jesuit equals Jesus Society?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we be
Well,
on.
that one made it through. I see. No strikes on my end.
Yeah. So far so good. They went and came and got us from a video from last year. So they don't
Right.
they got it out for us. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it.
Maybe maybe we could talk about the Jesuits. I mean, not now, but maybe YouTube don't care if we talk about the Jesuits or the Pope or whatever.
Oh, they care,
As long
but
as we don't say the B word,
Yeah, we were just exposing the language. So we didn't get into the dirty secrets, dirty. We weren't talking about their dirty draws and nothing. So they weren't really mad at us because that other video now that about the Jewish circumcision.
Yeah.
And I compared it to adrenochrome, and now that we got into they dirty draws on that one.
Right. Yeah, I guess we did because we both got a strike. So
peace to the system.
So
and we just touching on these Christian black codes, and we just had to stop and show how it was never ratified. The 14th Amendment was never ratified. So
that's probably why it never worked. It didn't work.
Exactly. So now today we're supposed to believe it's something stand that never stood. No, they got us living off the belief.
Right. So when you got 85% of the population of the United States walking around with blinders on, then to them that was fine how they did that. To us sheeple or blinded people, what do we even care? We're not gonna read the Constitution anyway. I said 85%. I didn't say everybody. So yeah, some of us not even gonna read it, try to interpret it or whatever. It's too many people interpreting the same thing. Reminds me of another system that they put up. It's like, why can't things just be simple? Everything's got to be complex. I'm saying, take that whole Constitution and all of your other fake shit and convert it into today's English. So your average fifth grader can read the Constitution and understand it. Why won't they do that? I might do it for them. I might break it down and uncode that motherfucker and put it in layman's terms, plain simple English, and then deliver it. I wonder if I can get a strike for that. Paraphrasing your own shit. We'll see. So the 15th Amendment, United States Constitution. Do you want me to recoup
Yeah,
it, or
yeah.
you
I'm
want me
out
to?
there. Actually, I'm out to actually show the connection. Like when I
Okay.
say mulatto, mestizo, Creole, I'm gonna show you what they all are. But it all just means person with mixed descent.
Mixed,
They
right?
used to have the descent down to a science, but now it be all over the place, so they don't know. They just know you got a so-called African in you, but they don't know nothing else nowadays like they used to. Back in the day,
Right.
they could be like, "Oh yeah, Spanish and Portuguese, or Spanish and and this descent
And
and that descent."
and since that's all it means basically is mixed, then can the mulattoes and the mestizos or anybody who's mixed be anti-Semitic? Can we? Since we're all Semites,
I mean, they're all semi us, so I guess we can't be.
okay? So in Cuba, lineage and are identified as mulattoes and mestizos, and some 2/3 of are descendants of white Europeans, mainly from Spain. Whites have been the dominant ethnic group for centuries, monopolizing the direction of the economy as well as access to education and other government services. Although mulattoes have become increasingly prominent, yeah, they're everywhere. Um, Probably have to hit to read more on that, but the people watching, they get the point. They get the point that we've been duped all along, all the way up to now and the future. So hopefully things are going to be turning soon with the age. The colonial period never ended. That's my take on it. Never ended, never was. So he's talking about race as a highly variable construct in Latin America, where racial ideas typically refer to blacks or Africans brought to the region as slaves and their descendants. Whites, European colonists who conquered and settled the region and their descendants, and Indians, the indigenous population that inhabited the region before European conquest. Yeah, anybody who still believes that is crazy. So mixture, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think the European is ever going to be done colonizing. It's easier now because they've got us all grouped, categorized, and they got us all in check. So who knows what they're going to come up or conquer, what kind of shit they're going to be conquering in the near future. And they don't want nobody talking about what they do and what they've done. They do want us to think that that was years ago, that was hundreds of years ago, and they're not they're not them. But, you know, level the playing field then. Level it. Drop all your codes. Put your guns down. Put your guns down and meet us. Meet us on the square. Shit. Let it be told. So let me see what Calico, what else you got? Like I said, I was trying to find a list of these black codes to just like run it down, what exactly they were. And even the Jim Crow laws. I think the Jim Crow laws will let you see a list of what they were. I think in Wikipedia they listed all of those Crow laws, but they're not going to list all of the black laws, as far as I can see. I'm still trying to search through a PDF list of those codes. But anyway, we already know what they are. Vagrancy. Don't be a vagrant. Don't just be outside. Don't just be outside, hanging around, talking, and having a good time. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
there was penalties, and don't let a white boy be hanging out with you back then, because they got penalized even harder, according to the first article that you put up. Yeah, they be doing that shit. They don't like. You can't tell that much now because there's so much interracial mixing and all, but back then it wasn't really cool for them to be lovers. It was hard.
Exactly.
It was hard. I know. I grew up with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of time they just call people mulatto. They don't even know the people history. That's true. You know.
Right. That's right. I mean, there's some certain features that stand alone, but basically, that melanin overpower some of the whiteness or European in a person sometimes, and you'll just be judging them by their skin color, but you really won't know their history. I mean, when we put on an application that we're black, there is a box that says other, and we do have the freedom to self-identify. Like we don't have to be black or African American or Afro American or anything that they call us. We don't have to be mulatto or none of that shit in real life. We're just going along with the program because that's what our parents taught us. That's what their parents taught them. Then you instill fear, and boom, they're good. They're good forever. We got 500 nations. Then I'm gonna go join one tomorrow.
Yeah, so like I say, mulatto, mestizo, a Creole, like in the beginning of the U.S. when they first got going, like they basically had an umbrella term for all of these people, and it
Right.
wasn't all black; it was the word colored. Yeah,
Hmm.
so a lot of people would tell you, "Oh, we all colored folks, we all colored people." Uh,
Yeah.
saying, what are the limits of what we can identify as? I mean, you in a social construct. So it's like saying you playing Monopoly. You have to play by the rules. You know, it's not to say you can't have all the $1 bills. You can have all the $1 bills if that's what you really want. You know, but you might want to make room in your pocket and just get hundreds. You feel me? You might want to just get 50s. You feel me? Because I heard a lot of people say it's all about the Benjamins. hmm well, tell me why uh, your boy is not even a president. Like everybody on the money is presidents, except for what is that? What is Franklin Benjamin or whatever
Right,
Benjamin Franklin? Benjamin Franklin. I mean, I
right.
said his name backwards, but yeah, like he's not even a president.
Yeah,
Can
and it's not even real money. It's just fiat
Yeah, I
and
mean
a fucking Ponzi scheme that they're running.
that's why we're supposed to honor our ancestors, so we don't really have to create nothing new. Because unless we truly know what we're doing, we just gonna be making mistakes that's been made already. Now, if they knew what they was doing, put it like this: we don't want to call ourselves Mestizos. We don't want to call ourselves Creoles. We don't want to call ourselves colored, Negro, African American.
Yeah,
Number one, these terms have been coined. The U.S. owns these terms and states them to be terms to describe property.
yeah.
And I'm showing you the Christian black codes. So it's like if you was on another part of the world that's not colonized, yes, you could be black if that's what you so desired. You could run that name up through the mountains. You could tat it on your body. You could put it on your on our court buildings. It could say black on it. I'm just saying. But if we over here playing they game, it's like you're gonna go on Jeopardy and change the rules. Can I be Alex Trebek? No, no, you can't. And that's how the rules go. I forget the girl that turned the cards all the time. She got famous. Man, she got paid millions and millions just to do that. You feel me? I'm
What
talking
did
about
she
every.
do?
You remember Jeopardy? Or was
Oh,
it
oh yeah.
Wheel of Fortune? Nah, it was Jeopardy. I think. Yeah, well, one of the two. I know it wasn't The Price is Right. No, I'm just saying. It's one of them good old shows
Um,
back in the day. You know,
yeah,
had,
I ain't
had
never
us trying
been
to
to.
guess every price they ever made. You know, but hey,
Yeah,
yeah, we can't play their games and think that there's no such thing as a rule. They got some strict rules. Really, they got
yeah.
a lot of booby traps set. It's like, hey, you want to be black? What's up? I got a status for you. We were like, shoot, hey, black sounds cool. You know, you see some other people calling themselves black. They big, they got muscles and shoot, they could dunk, throw a football and all that. And you like, shoot, yeah, I be black. Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, not knowing this is a game. It's like saying, yeah, I line up and get the vacation. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
story, y'all know. You know?
So the sacred group. Can you go back to the sacred group?
Okay.
She says some pastors in America identify as Canaanites. I've never
Well,
heard that before. I mean, I
yeah,
know
I
what
need to go to that
Canaanites
church. I
are,
need
but
Yeah, I need to go
really?
deal with them pastors.
Yeah, for
You feel
real?
me? I ain't never seen it, but I would like to see it. It's like saying a church they got Moabites on there. You feel me?
That's what I'm
I,
saying.
yeah, I would be surprised. I would love to see it.
Yeah, so would I. Because then I
Yeah, I
know
seen
for
this.
real that you're playing the
I seen
game.
this one church I was thinking about going in. Yeah, Vanna White. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. You're right. You're right. That was her name. That was her name. Yep.
But-
Back in the days, I used to know it. I could drop over down too. Now, see, nowadays, when I smoke my brain cells away, I be smoking away the right thing. I don't, you know, the right brain cells or the wrong brain cells be leaving, not the good ones. You feel me?
I'm wondering what pastor is going to say that he's a Canaanite as a nationality or race.
Yeah, I would love to see a pastor say that. I saw a video on YouTube, dude say he ain't black. He a Canaanite. So that's just his way of arguing with the Israelites. He's like, I'm
Right,
arguing with the Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
right. But
Because
legally,
he should just say he a Moor. But
yeah.
for some reason he's saying I'm a Canaanite. So since he a Canaanite, you know, he's skipping past the fact that he a
A
Moor.
Canaanite, if
And
he's a
he
Canaanite,
just want to argue with the Israelites. That's
you're right.
probably
If
you
he's
know.
a Canaanite, then he's from Canaan. That's still not a race or a nationality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
black's
know,
not a nationality or a race either.
nah,
But the but the
see, I
black
just attach it.
codes,
See, I look at the word like Canaanite for what it is. Canaan coming from Canaan or Canaanu. So when you
mhm,
saying it's like a two-part word, like most words are compound words. This is no different. You
right?
feel me? Most words represent multiple gods. So you're looking at dualities
Yeah, like
in most times.
Israel.
Yeah, that's
Israel
a trinity. Yeah,
has
exactly.
nothing to do with the place by origin.
Yep,
Nothing.
yep.
And I wonder if the Israelites or the people who
Canaan.
claim to be Israelites, I wonder if they even like study stuff like that, like ISIS or Ra, or know who the L's are or the gods or anything. They just want to be from Israel, which didn't even exist until like 1950 something. So
Yep, yep, yep. The brother got it. You know.
right. But we do have a right to self-identify though. We don't have to
Now,
be
now,
any of your names, really. We don't have to be any of your names. We can be sovereign if we knew how. We can't be
yeah,
sovereign while being a part of their government, though. But
yeah.
if
You
we
got to.
want to practice
Yeah,
our sovereignty,
we got to get from up under these Christian black codes. That's the whole
yeah,
point of this discussion. You know, to at least show them like, why would you play this game? This you playing with fire.
hmm,
You know, these people been terrorizing people off this auspice of black for a long time.
hmm,
For hundreds of years, and you think you gonna beat it because you positive. Oh, I don't look at black like that. I don't give a care what you do. We talking about what the Terminator does. I'm giving you the Terminator's instructions. This is his instructions. His eyes turn red, and he got the lasers on you when he sees this and that. Everything that the Christian black codes explain. It's like you were saying earlier about how really the law stated once upon a time, and really you can tell they still going off of it. That it say like three or more black cannot congregate without a white present. You know, so you can't have a group of black people, is what they say. You can call yourself a moral anything. You know how they
unless
rock
it's
it,
in the
how they feel.
unless it's in a church.
Yeah, because they can judge your dress code and all. They have so many ways to put you in this status. You
Right.
know, sagging pants. They got that way back then. They could bring that. They bring that up. And they Jim Crow laws and all that. They bringing all of that up in these Christian black codes way back then. They bringing
Yeah.
up, ways to label you a vagrant. Once they label you a vagrant or a savage or anything, then you know
And I
they
was
can attack.
reading that if once they label you a vagrant and you're an adult, right? The the ex-slave masters or the teachers, the educators or the teachers could then take in your kids, for whatever your sentence and punishment is, and you got some underage kids, they can be just given to the teacher, or which is the ex-slave masters. So they still was playing all kinds of games, And there were some rules involved for when they take an orphan in, because your mama's a vagrant and jailed, or I mean, it's so much more crazy stuff to this, because it seems to me that all they're really doing is just watching everything we do, seeing how great we are, how athletic we are, how smart we are, how we, we be on it like that and shit, and then just trying to hold us down by a lot of that stuff that they're calling the law ain't even fucking laws. They're just like ordinances and statutes and shit that they made up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because period. What is this? The Constitution. It's the supreme law of the land. So why are we worried about anything else?
Right.
You know, it's like people. Hey, watch this. I guess black people are scared of a word like Trump. So when I say the supreme or the Constitution is the Trump card, they be like, "Oh, I don't want no Trump card." You know,
Yeah.
like they get scared. They scared of their own shadow. I'm like, I said the Trump card. That don't got nothing to do with Donald. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. We the baddest and the most timid of people. We can be bad as hell at the same time,
yeah,
scary as
against each
hell.
other. Against each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
But
So
but yes, you know, colored. We are not colored people. We are not colored folk. We can't fall for that game. The movies we always tell y'all, we call it NBCs. N Negro, B blacks, C colored. Negroes,
mhm.
blacks, and colors. Now don't fall for it. Or you're gonna fall under. You agreeing to be judged by the Christian black codes. And Christian black codes don't care if you believe in Jesus either. You know, you better be in your Sunday's best every time they see you, or you gonna be judged by this black man.
Mhm.
So if you
So
ain't in your Moorish attire, if you ain't dressed like a noble, in some fine garments to let them know you ain't got your hairdressers on, you you ain't groomed to that level and distinguished with your etiquette and your law, then they're gonna know you just faking. You're another black. They're gonna call you a black identity extremist because
right.
because if you were truly any of these noble titles, then you would be noble. You would have knowledge. And if you don't, then
Mhm.
you're gonna be black, which means hey, come back to daddy. Uncle Sam like come back to daddy. You know, you didn't pass the SATs. You feel me? So I just want people to challenge themselves. Always read and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, please. And with that, I'm gonna let my sister tell y'all where you can find her.
Well, in about 2 weeks, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Denise Grant. I'm on strike right now, and anyway, Facebook, you can find me as Denise Grant also, and you can find my jewelry, my books, and everything else that I do at YahSinniUniversity.com. So, and you can find me on the Calico Yahsinni show periodically, maybe on the Taz show. But yeah, Denise Grant, the White Dove and the Blue Sky on YouTube, and just look for my picture on Facebook.